Water is the driving force of all nature. Leonardo da Vinci. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Well House Exorcism. This is your ghost of a host of the most, Shanna.
It's Puckwa PJ.
This week I get to use my terrible southern accent, Puckwa PJ.
Wee doggy.
So exciting.
Do they still say that?
I don't know.
In the South?
What the crap is that? We are going down to Arkansas.
I apologize to all of our Southern
Me
listeners.
too.
I know we have a lot of
We
you
don't
out
have
there.
any more anymore. We scared them all.
Somehow they still put up with us, so.
Because they're like, oh, look at those Northerners Yankees trying to be us.
Yeah, right.
That's cute.
Yeah.
But I have a terrible joke about Arkansas, which is from the Arkansas state website.
Okay.
Did you know that Arkansas is the only state mentioned in the Bible? Noah stood on the Arkansas dry land. Badoom-ching. All right, so at the top of the episode here, I just want to talk about some dates because we always discuss it like really fast at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and I have a thank you I want to do too.
Yeah. So today is, well, this episode will air at midnight going into the 15th. So you're probably listening to this on July 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Wednesday, we will have a midweek mini.
Yeah.
And then on the 19th, we are going to
Pennhurst Asylum.
which is super exciting.
Excited.
We're doing the Quaker lockdown. Our paranormal expert, Carrie and Tom, are coming with us. We have already practiced using the ghostly stuff that we have for our paranormal investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, between the 19th and the 21st, we'll have, like, clips for the 21st.
I'm going to work my butt off on the 20th to sift through everything we have and...
Thank God.
Yeah. Try to get some stuff sorted out.
Because that's hopefully going to be the episode for the 21st, going to 22nd. The 24th, we are not going to be having a midweek mini because that's my daughter's birthday party, and birthday sleepover in the basement. So there is no way we're going to record.
Yeah.
But then from the 21st throughout the next week, we're not going to be anywhere close. We're going to be on vacay. So we will not be having a midweek mini on the 24th because we're not going to be able to. And then on the 26th, we're going to go on vacay. But we are going to give you a surprise episode at some point from our vacay. So look forward to some beach stories. When we get into August, we should be all back to normal, which is exciting. All right. So just letting our listeners know that in 2 weeks' time, you're going to be seeing some weirdness happening.
Yeah. Strange release dates and times.
Yep.
And
we apologize in advance, but we're letting you know the top of the episode.
Our episodes won't be following the usual format also, I'm sure.
We deserve to have some time off for good behavior. That's what I say. Your ghost of a host of the most needs to not be so pale because I look like Casper right now. So I'd like to lay on the beach and be like 2 shades darker.
Yeah, and hope that you tan.
I'll probably just turn into a Casper that got dipped into like cherry
lobster.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and I'll just be the same.
Shut up.
I won't.
You'll tan. You always tan.
I guess so. It's not noticeable, though.
Well, it isn't because, you wear T-shirts. But you get a farmer's tan that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
The dad tan.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, just letting you know that for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be kind of wonky around here. But don't worry. We'll be back normal in August. And then, of course, in October, we have our next big thing, which will be a paranormal con that our super best friend Kevin Paul is hosting. Mm-hmm. So some cool stuff coming down your way.
One in the West Virginia, Pittsburgh area. We will be in Waynesburg October 19th doing a convention there.
Yep.
So we're the keynote speakers, I think, right?
Yep. If you want to hit us up, come hang with us.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We're actually really chill people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I am. You're not.
You're dang right we're chill. I'm so relaxed right now.
Whoa, son. Whoa. Someone had too much Rocky Road ice cream.
Lastly, I want to thank Craven and Caster for the ordeal it's been sending us some crystals for Pennhurst. It's been something. We ordered crystals that we could give everyone when we go to Pennhurst. The order got lost, and so they had to reorder, and then, they had to expedite it to us and everything, so James at Craven and Caster, we're super grateful for everything you do. And if you're in the Blakely area, definitely hit them up because they're pretty awesome.
It's so much fun to walk in there. And I just saw on his Facebook post that or maybe it's Instagram, he has a lot more 3D printed stuff now. So he's like resupplied and made some new stuff. So get there if you can. All right. So tonight we are going to discuss something deep down in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. In the Ozarks.
Yeah, you excited about that? I figured you'd be excited about the Ozarks.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
The show was great until it wasn't.
Oh, boy. We are discussing for our episode 90, by the way, in case you can't believe it. Yes. The Crescent Hotel. My references for this evening are crescenthotel.com.
What?
You got to go to the source.
What about the Crescent Hotel?
No.
Oh.
We're doing the American version, which is Crescent's. Look at my accent came out. So the historycollection.com, legendsofamerica.com, steamit.com, and of course, Wikipedia, because why not?
Obviously.
All right, so let's get right into it, honey bun.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to be spooked?
I'm ready.
Did you read the script at all?
You didn't send it to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is all a surprise for you.
It is.
I got a lot of ghost stories.
I tried to research. I watched a boring YouTube video, which was really informational. But I was like nodding off 13 minutes in.
You're also very tired.
Oh, yeah.
As Sophie said, we have not had a normal day.
It's been a while.
It's been. All right. So here we go. Water has been used by humans for many things other than drinking for a long time.
Fishing.
Yep. We know.
Rowing.
Fishing
in the rowboat.
Stop it. We know Catholics use holy water to take care of some pesky business. Baptisms happen in water. You go down to the river to pray. Heck, there are even water births happening more and more right now. So the question is, can water heal you? That was the belief in the 1800s, and that is the era where we'll start our story tonight.
Ooh.
Perched on the crest of West Mountain above the Victorian village of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Eureka!
Listeners, let us know how we're doing with the accents.
I would love to hear what you think about my accent. We have some listeners in Tennessee. I'd love to hear their thoughts.
Tennessee, I feel, is a more aggressive accent, though. You know, it's less of the southern drawl, and it's more...
Well,
it's more...
Listen. Bill Clinton was from Arkansas.
Yeah.
So we just gotta be Bill Clinton. We got it.
I did not... Okay.
Wrong podcast. All right, anyway. So as I said, perched on the crest of the West Mountain above the Victorian village of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, is the historic 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa. It is a 78-room resort hotel and is known as a beautiful vacation destination due to its luxurious offerings and its ghosts. The Crescent
has the most...
No, that's me.
Ghosts.
Oh, no, that's true. Yeah, 100%. It has a lot of ghosts.
It's one of them, at least, yeah.
The Crescent Hotel was built by two distinct groups, the Eureka Springs Improvement Company and the Frisco Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
Powell Clayton, a governor of Arkansas from the years 1868 to 1870, formed the Eureka Springs Improvement Company as a way to take advantage of the healin' waters craze happening from the Ozarks.
Well, I'm sure you're going to say in a second, but he straight up scammed thousands of people saying that he could cure cancer.
That's not the governor at all. Do your research, man.
So who was it?
Well, you got to listen to my story. Strap into your bootstraps here, boy. You're going to learn something tonight. I'm feeling it. Huh?
Listeners, again, message us with how the accent's going.
I don't think it's as good as Lizzie Borden, but it's fine.
I don't think I'm going to talk like this.
Okay.
This is my...
Sounds like you're going down the bayou way.
Yeah, it kind of does.
We're going frogging.
Yeah, it is kind of Louisianan.
See, it was an important time in Eureka Springs history, as it was called the Healing Waters, and the Ozarks had become well known nationwide for it. People from near and far were swarming to the area in hopes of curing their ailments and easing their pains. The Crescent Hotel and Spa developers planned to take advantage of these many travelers by building the most luxurious resort in the country.
And hundreds of people said they were cured.
It's like going to the the Holy Waters. Who is it? The lady.
Lourdes.
Yeah,
You going
Our Lady
to
of Lourdes. Because I have lotion, rose lotion with the waters. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, my sister lent a rosary that was dipped in water from Lourdes, and someone who had cancer, literally surrounding her heart, was better.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it shrank like in a matter of months.
Miracles can happen. Anyway, this meant creating a hotel that would shine over the valley, and that is exactly what was designed by architect Isaac S. Taylor. Numerous stonemasons were brought in from Ireland to begin the construction in 1884. Due to the density of the magnesium limestone used to build the hotel, special wagons were constructed to move the massive pieces of stone from the quarry site on the White River. Designed in an eclectic array of architectural styles, the masons built 18-inch walls, several towers, overhanging balconies, and a massive stone fireplace in the lobby. Absolutely gorgeous looking.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. However, something this lavish quickly fell into disrepair, especially after the craze of healing waters ended. Because of this, in 1908, it reopened as Crescent Hotel. That closed in 1924. Then, in 1930, it reopened as a junior college. That was right during the Great Depression, though, so it closed again in 1934. From there, it opened again in 1937 by the infamous Norman G. Baker, which we'll talk about.
Ah, yes.
However, he was arrested in 1939 for reasons I'll get into shortly.
There he is.
Yes. But sadly, the Crescent Hotel was left ownerless until 1946. That's mostly because World War II was happening at the time, so nobody really wanted to have a hotel, you know. People were kind of busy, you know, winning the world. And I don't mean win the war, I mean win the world. In the spring of 1946, the Crescent Hotel was then purchased by John Constantine, Herbert Shutter, Herbert Byfield, and Dwight Nichols. Now, in 1990, so we're going to flash forward. In 1997, Marty and Elise Roenick, I hope that's how you pronounce it. It's Ro, and then it's N-I-G-K. Ronig.
It's got to be Ronig.
Yeah. Purchased the Crescent Hotel for $1.3 million. They then oversaw a 6-year restoration and renovation of the hotel rooms. Marty died in a car crash in 2009, so Elise remains the hotel's current owner. So that's from 97 on. And that is the briefest line of ownership timeline that I could make. Okay. So there you go. So it's built. It goes through some hubbub because of, you know, World War I, World War II, the Great Depression. A not so great guy that we're going to talk about first, Norman G. Baker. And now they have restored it as much as they possibly can, or they were trying to.
Yeah, I watched, in the video I watched, for anyone interested, it is called Haunting History, Season 1, Episode 2, The Crescent Hotel. And they this was 8 years ago. They did a ghost tour, did some EVP sessions and stuff in their hotel rooms, things like that.
It looks gorgeous. If you go online, thecrescenthotel.com, they do an area because it's called the Mountaintop Hotel and Spa. Did you know they get snow up there? I mean, it has to because it's on a mountain. It's gorgeous, though, in the snow. So anyway, briefest of timelines I could give you. So today, the Crescent Hotel is one of the most visited hotels in the South. With its long and extensive history, it is also known to be one of the most haunted places in the Ozarks. Staff and guests alike tell stories of several ghosts that are still there and are said to inhabit the old hotel. Much of those ghosts can be attributed to the evil Norman G. Baker.
Okay.
He ain't a good guy.
No, he's not. He's a piece of garbage.
Yeah. So I am not going to go over Norman's past. If you want to learn about that, there are lots of websites. The one that I found the most helpful was historycollection.com to talk about him. But by 1937, he was well known infamously by the FBI, and they were like, he was on a search list at that point because he had done some pretty terrible things. Now, when he bought the resort, he wanted to turn it into a place that was going to be a hospital and a health resort. Because by that time, he was a millionaire, and I'll put this in air quotes, inventor. And he was also a radio personality, which he would use as a way to get his voice out to the people, and especially to these, like, I don't know what to call them apart from like grassroots, like believe in the herbalism of the time period, not seek doctors. He would use his radio format to reach those people for alternative like health, I guess. Is that how we want to word it?
Yeah, alternative medicine.
Yeah. And of course his own beliefs politically, which did not make a lot of people happy. So
similar to a faith healer almost.
Yeah. So after
or snake oil salesman.
Yeah, 100% that's what it was. So he decided to become a doctor, despite having no medical training.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously just the next of many of his cons. So he becomes a, quote, doctor. And now, during his time as a quack, he would claim to discover a number of cures for various ailments, but the most devious one, in my opinion, was his cure for cancer.
Yep.
And you have to understand that he was run out of Iowa for practicing medicine without a license. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So he moved his cancer patients to Arkansas when he bought the Crescent, which is obnoxious because there's a whole backstory to him working with one other person and trying to see if the cure would work. And the cure slowly kills all 5 of the people. Like, he already, like, in my mind, when I was reading about this guy, I already wanted to punch him through my computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I may have been a little sassy in my script. May have been a little sassy. But as I typed here, this quack painted the majority of the hotel in a ridiculously bright purple because that was like his color to use for his everything. And then he began to send out mailers that would lure the sick and wealthy to his hotel. At first, his, and again, air quote, cure consisted of drinking the Ozark healing water, but then he began to offer his official cure. His formula turned out to be nothing except a useless concoction of alcohol, glycerin, and carbolic acid that he mixed with tea brewed from watermelon seeds, brown corn silk, and clover leaves. That's it. Nothing there medicinal at all. So in no way would this be an effective treatment against cancer, and no surprise, his patients died.
Yeah.
What's worse? He forced his dying patients to write home to their families that his hotel was a medical paradise, that the treatments were working, and they were feeling so much better, you know, like even though they were dying slowly. So when their pain medication would no longer work, though, he simply had them taken to an area that he had reserved for the purpose of a hospice, and they were left there to die.
Awesome.
Yeah. This location would be later remodeled into a luxury suite for guests. Isn't that nice? Yeah, you want to stay in the luxury suite, honey? Lots of people died there.
I mean, sounds luxurious. I don't know. People are just dying to get in.
Oh, my. It is estimated the number of people who died by this quack is in the hundreds, and possibly some of their remains are scattered on the grounds.
Wow.
Eventually, the FBI did catch up with Norman Baker, and he was sent to jail. So in 1940, federal charges were filed against him for mail fraud, and he spent 4 years in jail. But that's it, just 4 years.
Okay.
So according to one U.S. postal inspector, it is estimated that Baker had been able to bring in about $500,000 per year for a few years before he was caught. So he made a heck of a lot of money by selling this miracle elixir and then mailing it from the crowd. Yeah, it's insane. Now, his 4-year stint was at Leavenworth, so not an easy prison to be in. But during the ensuing investigation, it was revealed that over his years of work, he had defrauded cancer patients approximately $4 million.
Yikes.
So he is, was, because he did. He was a monster. So while no one technically died from his treatments, he hastened their deaths because he didn't.
They died because of them.
Yeah. He denied.
Indirectly.
Yeah, he denied them actual life-saving, treatments for cancer of the time period. So they all withered away and died.
Yeah.
Now, in 1944, Baker was released from prison. He moved to Florida, and he lived there comfortably until he died in 1958. So he was free man for 14 years and enjoyed Florida.
Yeah.
But the irony is he dies of cancer. I hope he tried taking his miracle
Karma.
elixir.
Oh, man.
So that is a very brief overview of him. So there's a lot more to this guy. He was a true monster. But his ghost is said to actually haunt this area because they learned more about him as they were doing renovations.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add about him?
No, you got it all, yeah.
Cool. All right, so I want to move into the ghosts now because that's the most important part. So we've discussed how it was built, why it was built, the Ozark sealing water craze that ended, all of that. So the Crescent Hotel did not waste any time gathering its ghosts. I mean, literally during construction, someone dies and they got ghost number 1.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. Is that called patient 0? Here's patient 0. Here's ghost 0.
Ghost 0.
So during construction, as I mentioned, they brought a lot of stonemasons in from Ireland. So a stone worker by the name of Michael, well, that's what they call him. I assume it's his name, but they call the ghost Michael. He fell to his death from the 4th floor into what eventually became room 218, and it is one of the most active rooms in the hotel to this day.
Yes, it is. It's the most requested room.
Yep. He is also the most often cited apparition. He is a very red-headed Irishman. Now, allegedly, Michael was one of the original Masons who worked at the hotel's building in 1885, so it predates even the actual opening of the building. So as I mentioned, he was working on the 4th floor. Actually, it would have been the roof at the time. He lost his balance, and he fell to the 2nd floor area, and he died.
Yeah.
So that's the full story.
A lot of falls on this property.
Yeah, you got to put up, some railings, y'all.
Even with the railings, so we'll get to it, the little girl.
Yeah. Michael is said to be a mischievous spirit, and he likes to play tricks with people and on them.
Oh, looking for your socks, are you?
Oh, boy. I don't... So our Irish listeners, which is better, Arkansas? Or anyway, he likes to play tricks with the lights, too. Also the doors.
Is that breakfast potatoes?
He also likes to have fun with the television. He's also heard pounding loudly on the walls. People have witnessed hands coming out of the bathroom mirror.
Oh, my.
Yep.
Don't like that one.
And they've heard cries of what sounded like a man falling into the ceiling above them. Other guests have been shaken during the night, and on one occasion, a patron ran screaming from the room, professing to have seen blood splattered all over its walls. So, Michael...
That's pretty cool.
What a ghost. What a guy. All right, anyway, so on to the little girl. Shortly after the resort actually opened to guests, a young girl who was said to be 5 or 6 years old stumbled over the staircase and fell to her death from the 4th floor down to the basement below.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor little girl.
There's video footage, from the ghost tour of just how far the drop is. Because as they look over the railing and down to where the floor is that she fell. And the ghost tour, the tour guide, she's a medium. And first off, I want to say, you're doing a ghost tour, and she starts by saying, I just want to let everyone know that we're going to be talking about ghosts, which involves untimely deaths, and it's a sad topic. And are we really at that point in society that A, you have to be using that kind of voice, and B, warning people at a ghost tour?
Penhurst, we don't need a warning.
No.
We know what we're getting into.
Give us all the grim, dark details.
Yep.
Because, really?
Really?
We're all adults here. We can handle it. If not...
Get off your soapbox.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, but anyway, she said that the girl was, unattended, just playing, probably, with dolls. And at least that's what, how she tells it, is that she was there playing with toys and then just slipped through the railings.
Yeah.
Because
and kids find it fun too. Look at Alex when we're over at Carrie's house. He wants to slip through her railings on her steps because he can jump then off to the floor. And we're like, okay, you gotta be careful, man.
Yeah.
Kids just, kids are kids. You gotta watch them.
Yeah. I got my head stuck in our railings when I was a kid.
And now that's a thing that all of our listeners know.
You're welcome, listeners. Listeners, if you've done it too, write in.
No, don't.
Just so I don't
we'll
feel
make fun
alone.
of you. Fun fact, I've never gotten my head stuck in railings.
Well, that's one of us.
All right.
Bet you feel left out.
No.
Are you sure?
Left in? I feel left out of the railings, and my head feels much better because of it.
Just wait till everyone chimes in and says, yeah, I did it too. And then you're going to feel like the odd one.
Sure. All right. When this hotel became a part-time women's college in the school months, it still served hotel guests in the summer. So during that time, it said that the dean's young son became ill and died. Now, this is, I assume, is his nickname, but they called him Brecky. He was 4 years old, and he died of complications from appendicitis, which is not a fun way to go.
Mm.
He has been seen roaming the halls in the afterlife. He makes his presence known by the sound of a bouncing ball. Added to this, it is said that a love-struck and pregnant student was either pushed or jumped to her death from the fourth floor balcony. I'm telling you, the fourth floor balcony, I don't want to be up there because everyone's falling off that area. Some people actually have seen her fall, like during their ghost hunts. One, they actually see a ghost like fall.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah.
Some people have woken up to her screams as she's falling. Others say they've looked up and they've seen a shadowy figure peering down from the balcony above, which could be her or that little girl or any, residual like haunt that's there.
Yeah.
Now, while there doesn't seem to be any proof of either the little girl or the pregnant student, encounters with these ghosts have been recounted by numerous guests. However, Michael the stoneworker and other ghastly events that follow are very real. Okay? So one ghost named Theodora was
Theodora.
Was a cancer patient. She has been seen fumbling for her keys outside room 419, as well as tidying up for guests when they leave the room. Most often, though, housekeepers see her in this room, and she courteously introduces herself as Theodora, a cancer patient, and then she vanishes.
Yeah. Or they'll be like guests will be like, "Do you need help with something?" She'll go, "No, just looking for my keys," and then she'll be gone.
Yeah.
And all the staff nickname, like they call her jokingly the neat freak.
Yes, she's always
because
tidying.
she's always tidying. Yeah. See, there are ghosts that.
Yeah, give her. You know what?
We'll take her.
Come home with me. I'm gonna give you a mop and.
Be like Fantasia, brooms just going back and forth.
Just ignore it. It's fine. Another ghost is Dr. John Fremont Ellis, who was the hotel's in-house doctor during the late 19th century. He's usually seen, or at least they smell, his cherry pipe tobacco near his office, which is room 212. And that's all that I have about him. And in the lobby, there is a gentleman dressed in formal Victorian clothing, complete with a top hat, and he's been often spotted at the bottom of the stairway and sitting at the bar. He's described as distinguished-looking with a mustache and beard, and many have claimed to entice him into conversation. However, he sits quietly and he never responds, and then he suddenly disappears.
No, I like all these, so I'm just like, I'm in this.
Now the next one, before I go to the major haunted areas, this one's just for Carrie and Penny. There is a ghost cat.
Yes. Morris.
Yes.
I have his poem.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Good. The cat's name is Morris, as Pucko PJ said. And fun fact, he was known as the hotel general manager for 21 years. Best manager ever. He's the meownager. He was buried on the hotel property, and he is regularly seen and heard. So read me the poem of Morris the cat.
So the title is In Memory of Morris.
Oh, Morris.
The resident cat at the Crescent Hotel, he filled his position exceedingly well. The general manager title he wore was printed right there on his own office door. He acted as greeter and sometimes as guide. Whatever his duties, he did them with pride. He chose his own hours and set his own pace. The guests were impressed with his manners and grace. Upstairs and down, he kept everything nice. They might have had ghosts, but they never had mice.
Aww, Morris. So there you go, Carrie and Penny. I love it.
But yeah, the whole time, like, I've read multiple reports of, like, you just feel a cat brushing up against your legs. And you're here kicking your feet, and I'm feeling a breeze brushing up on my legs, and I'm freaking out right now.
I can't sit still. I'm always moving my legs back and forth if I can. So I apologize.
Hey, it's warm down here. I don't mind.
But yeah, so I love it. Like, you can tell if Morris likes you if he brushes up against you.
And his grave is outside, too.
Yep, it's there for everyone to go see. Good little kitty. So the big haunted areas are the ballroom and one other place. So we're going to go into the ballroom first. I'm going to hold the last one because it's a good one.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm not surprised. So the ballroom is a lot more haunted than other places. The hotel's crystal dining room is said to contain frequent paranormal activities. Here, Victorian-dressed apparitions have often been encountered. Many have seen groups of 1890s dancers in full dress attire whirling around the room in the wee hours of the morning. So it looks like there is a ball going on in the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read anything about people like hearing any sounds, but they see the ghostly figures dancing.
Yeah.
Like doing the waltz and whatnot. Other reports tell of a 19th century gentleman who has been seen sitting at a table near the windows. When approached, he says, "I saw the most beautiful woman here last night, and I'm waiting for her to return." which I think is so sweet. Or is he there for eternity waiting for some chick that's just...
Yeah, right. I never saw a woman dressed like that before.
Wow, the original ghosting. He got ghosted. All right. Added to this, a former waitress reported that she spied the vision of a Victorian bride and groom in the dining room's huge mirror. The groom allegedly made eye contact with her before the couple faded away. I would not want to make eye contact with a ghost.
No, that messes me up real bad.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever see the House on Haunted Hill where the woman's like, she's looking at through her camera and there's like doctors operating on someone through the view screen, then she like puts the camera down, there's no one there. Then she puts the camera back up and they're all looking at her. I'm like, ah!
Nope. Overall, though, the Victorian spirits that linger in the dining room are said to be very playful. So you'll like these stories, PJ.
Uh-huh.
On one occasion during the Christmas season, the Christmas tree and all its packages were found mysteriously moved to the other side of the room. Additionally, all the chairs had been moved to circle or face the transported tree. On another occasion, staff arrived in the morning to find the dining room in perfect order, except for all the menus scattered about the room. The tree goes over here. Okay, so we have more dancing room. Jeez. And were they all sitting in the seats, like, looking at the pretty tree? Like, is that what they were doing?
I know, right?
Because that would kind of freak me out. The last place I want to discuss tonight with you, Puckwa PJ, the most haunted area, is the morgue.
The morgue.
The morgue is located in the basement.
Obviously.
Yep. According to Deborah, the manager of the nightly ghost tours, she said, "There has been quite an uptick in activity in the morgue. I think we have stirred things up a bit with the discovery of the remains." Don't get excited. It wasn't body remains, yeah.
Kind of
well,
were.
yes, yeah, kind. Yeah, you're right. You're right. She was referring to the 2019 uncovering of a secret bottle grave of the Crescent's most infamous resident owner, Norman Baker. A certified archaeological dig found hundreds of bottles of Baker's secret formula. So again, if anybody wants to try the watermelon seed drink, you go ahead. But they also found jars containing, quote, medical specimens that had been surgically removed from patients. So there are
like
body parts and tumors and God knows what else.
Appendixes or whatnot. You want to see a creepy picture from, I think it's the ballroom?
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
Post that one to your Facebook page, honey. Thank you.
Screenshot that, yeah.
Okay. All right, anyway. So added to the bottled specimen jars they found, a dark figure has recently been seen in the morgue, and there's been an increase in cold spots and reports of people being touched.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when I hear that, I wonder, is it the ghost saying, like, thank you for finding the rest of my body, or have they unleashed something?
Yeah, I think they disturbed things that haven't been touched in all this time, and now, because it's been disturbed, things are happening.
Yeah. The Dr. Baker apparition, as they call it, has also been seen in the old recreation room in the basement and at the foot of the first floor stairway. He's dressed in a purple shirt and white linen suit, and he looks somewhat confused. The apparition appears identical to old photographs of Baker, so they have his apparition. Now, added to this, from the days when the old hotel served as Baker's Cancer Hospital, the lingering spirit of a nurse dressed all in white is often seen pushing a gurney on the third floor. Only spotted after 11 p.m., when they used to move the deceased out of the cancer hospital, the ghostly spirit vanishes when she reaches the end of the hallway. Others who have not seen this apparition have reported, though, the sounds of squeaks and rattles like the gurney is being rolled down the hallway. Yeah, but isn't it sad, like, they wouldn't remove the dead bodies until 11 p.m. because everyone would be asleep and they wouldn't know that cancer patients were dying. Act natural.
Everything's fine here.
Yeah, thanks. So during the 1930s, this area was used as the morgue, as I mentioned, the basement. And even today, it still houses his old autopsy table and a walk-in freezer. So it's still morgue-esque.
Yeah.
The laundry area is also located on the third floor, where a hotel maintenance man once witnessed all of the washers and dryers inexplicably turning on by themselves in the middle of the night. Yeah. So you have that going along with a girl pushing a gurney. You got the morgue happening down the basement. Yeah. Now, something that's really cool, but also really creepy.
Uh-huh.
The hotel has an antique switchboard.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
All right.
It did continue to be utilized in the hotel, but it continually received phone calls from the otherwise empty basement.
Yeah, don't like that.
Yep. So they said, you know what? We're just going to discontinue. We're not going to use this anymore. We don't want this. So they were trying to use the switchboard, but they're like, we're just not going to discontinue it. Yeah. And they believe it's probably the cancer patients trying to reach from beyond the grave.
Yeah.
Sadly. Anything you want to add?
So the other thing that I found that you didn't mention from americasmosthauntedhotel.com is the third floor, there's a spot in it that they believe is a portal.
I have that.
You do?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before we go, because I have a whole section called the why. Why is it so haunted? So you can discuss the portal in a second.
Okay.
So the first one, though, is the building itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the big question people ask is, why so many ghosts? Why so active? Why? Many paranormal investigators believe it's because it is limestone that was used. And limestone has a special ability to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies. Now, Crescent Mountain is predominantly limestone, the mountain itself. The massive 18-inch thick stones used for the hotel were made of limestone. So it's a lot of limestone being used, and that's probably what is contributing to this abundant amount of paranormal activity.
Yeah. Yeah, listeners, when we talk about like residual haunts and things like that, that kind of energy allegedly, supposedly can be stored in limestone very easily.
And so this building is limestone. It's on top of limestone. So you got battery packs upon battery pack. These puppies are going to recharge forever.
18-inch thick. Can we just like talk about that for a second?
Isn't that what they did with Penn State too? Isn't that how Eastern State was built? They're pretty thick walls as well, right?
Yeah. I want to say the outer walls were even like wider.
Where's Carrie? She knows.
Yeah.
Carrie. But yeah, so I think it's because they want to be a luxury, resort, and 18 inches can really hold in the heat and then keep in the cold too.
Yeah.
Now, another reason you've already mentioned is this recurring phenomenon. It happens in one spot on the third floor, where the hotel connects to an annex built onto the hotel when it was a hospital. The area has been said to be a portal to the other side. So multiple guests have grown very faint. Some of them even pass out when they get to this location. The occurrences go in spurts, so it can happen over several weeks or months, and then nothing for a while.
Yeah.
Now, the guests who get sick, they turn very pale, they fall against and then slide down the wall, and they just pass out. Although they, lose consciousness, it doesn't last very long, and they recover almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So what else did you want to add about that?
Yeah, that's all I had too, was, it's all very rapid, unpredictable of when it happens, how long it's going to last, and then, it just goes away. And it's gone for months.
Goodbye.
And then it like opens back up again or whatever.
So I don't want to go to the fourth floor balcony.
Yep.
Because bad stuff happens there. We don't want to go to the third floor at all. I'm good. I do want to visit Theodora, though.
Yeah, she sounds pleasant.
Yeah. She's on the fourth floor, right? Room 4.
And Morris.
Oh, well, yeah,
We
obviously.
gotta see Morris.
I'll go to the ballroom, though. Sounds like it'd be fun. So, those are all the stories I have at the Crescent Hotel in Arkansas. What are your thoughts?
I believe it. There are enough reports, and they all seem to match, everything, and they just sound like experiences people would have with ghosts.
Yeah.
Like where
nothing's too wacky.
Yeah, where just a couple days ago for the Lizzie Borden house, like I just can't buy that one. But this one has a much longer history with while they're not as horrifying, it has more
It has
deaths.
tragedy. Yeah.
A lot more tragedy. Much more sadness. So yeah, while this is a more tragic place, I think that leads into a lot of the
I think the pain and the suffering of the cancer patients really has a lot to do with it, because when you have that pain there and the death there, it's going to bring in that residual energy.
Yeah.
So overall, Crescent Hotel, haunted. Everyone should go. All right, so we're done with this. We're good. So I would love to hear your stories. If you've been to the Crescent Hotel, listeners, please let us know. Again, one more time, the next couple weeks are going to be kind of weird, but we'll be back normal in August.
Mhm.
All right. So as always, thank you for listening to the Well House Exorcism. Find us on Instagram as Well House Exorcism, on Twitter X as wellhouse_exorc, or Facebook under Games Overboard, because we are a subsidiary. Feel free to hop on our website as well, gamesoverboard.com. Please email us. We want to hear from you. If you're going to be at Pennhurst this coming Friday, please grab a free swag bag from us with
You'll find us
Crystal.
because we have Well House Exorcism shirts on.
We'll be the nerds with all of the tech. Just saying.
Yeah,
Lots
well, I'm
of
sure
fun.
everyone's going to be there with when you spend money for a lock-in. I'm pretty sure everyone there is going to have tech.
Heck yeah. So if you're going to be there, please come get a freebie bag from us with our love. And again, thank you, Craven and Castor, for helping us out with this. But as always, think spooky thoughts.